nothing can break me.
Hi guys, I'm Emma. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if you're brand new then thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you like to stick around and join us in all of our adventures. You can do that by hitting the little subscribe button. It's just down there. If you do hit the subscribe button, then please make sure to turn the notification bell as well, and then you'll be notified every single time we post. So today, clearly it is just me. I'm actually filming in front of the window, which is why if the lighting is a bit weird, that'll be why. And also it's a bit of a gloomy day, so we're dealing with that. Also, Louis is in the background. Now all of those things are said and done. I wanted to do a book tag today, but I also wanted to give it a Disney twist. So a little while ago, I think like 5 months ago, Heather from the Disney Housewife did a book tag called the Disney Princess Book Tag. And I was like, cool, I'll do that. But the questions I came across was different. They're completely different to the ones that Heather has put out. So I'm going to call it a Disney Princess book tag, and I'm going to tag Heather because she'd had this idea first, but these questions are completely different, so I'll leave a link to her channel down below, but I think we'll just get into it. Also, before we get into it, I've been trying to clear out a lot of my books recently, so if I don't have a copy of the book, I'll just put a picture of it up there. I have a couple of them, but I've been trying to like give them away or give them to charity or whatever if I've finished reading it and I don't think I'm going to read it again, so I've only kept the books that I think I'm going to reread. Okay, so let's start. The first princess on our list is Snow White, and this requires us to pick a book from our favourite author that started it all. And for me, it is Sarah J. Maas. I will literally read anything she writes. Her debut book was actually Throne of Glass, but that wasn't the one that started it for me. The book that I first read of hers was A Court of Thorns and Roses. I always get that one wrong. I don't have the actual book here, but I have A Court of Wings and Ruin, which I think is the second or third one. Yeah, this is the third one in the series. So I've given my sister the first two, and then I was reading this one, and she's not quite got to them yet. So I just love the story in this. A Court of Thorns and Roses is supposed to be a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but I don't really think it is. I do like this. Obviously, I like the story, and they're some of my favourites. I still have some in the series to keep up with, so I do need to carry on with it. But I don't think it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, really, but it is a really, really great story, and if you haven't read it, these are some of my favourites. So Snow White started it all for Disney, and this book, well not this one, but started it all for my Sarah J. Maas love. So the next princess in our list is Cinderella, and this is a diamond in the rough. You didn't expect much from the character in the beginning, but you love her in the end. And so I picked Elena Starkov from Shadow and Bone, and that is by Leigh Bardugo. So I'll put a picture of it there. It has recently become a Netflix series, which I actually do really like. I normally don't like when they make films or series from books that I've read, but I actually really like this one. So I think normally I just don't like the main girl character, you know. They can be a bit whingy, a little bit needy, but so that's why I kind of expected from Elena in the book, but she wasn't like that at all, and I did actually love her by the end, so I don't want to give too much away, but if you haven't read the book, recommend that. And also you can watch this series if you don't want to read. The next princess on our list is Aurora, and this is a book that makes you sleepy or that couldn't hold your attention. Now I've got rid of this book, I'll put a picture of it here, but that is Havenfall by Sarah Holland. It's not necessarily a bad book, and it does have good reviews on Goodreads. Not from me, I gave it a 2 stars, but I just found like the magic system was a bit and the characters were all a little bit and like I know I normally read YA, but I think maybe this, it's tricky because parts of the story I wouldn't want to say, okay, yeah, this is for young readers, but also parts of it felt like they were for young readers, and I know that's what YA is, but you kind of get like older YA and younger YA, and I think maybe it just felt maybe just a little bit too young for me. The next one is Ariel, a book that has a water or ocean setting. Now, I raved about this book recently, and I think I did a review, so I'll leave it linked up there, but that is To Kill a Kingdom. This is a Little Mermaid retelling, so it's obviously based in the sea, and it's perfect for this character, this question, because it's all about the ocean and mermaids and sirens, but it's got a twist. If you haven't read it, this one. Also, you can check out my review, but I don't want to talk too much about this one. But I loved the characters, I loved the story, it was really, really good. The next princess is Belle, our Disney book girl. A book with the best bookworm in it. This one I found tricky to figure out which book I wanted to talk about, and then I thought, well, maybe I haven't read many books with like bookworm characters, which is possible. So I went with like the ultimate bookworm, you know. I went with Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. She's the bookworm. Like, the other characters literally would not be alive if Hermione Granger did not love the library so much. So yeah, girl power. And I love that she loves to read, because if you're enjoying this video or you love to read, then she probably is a big influence in that. So the next prompt is Jasmine, a book with an unlikely love story. I went a little bit out of the box with this one because, again, I don't know, I couldn't really pick a book. So I went with The Host by Stephanie Meyer. So The Host is kind of like, I think it's a bit Marmite. You either really like it or you really don't. I really, really liked The Host. I thought it was such a great book. Loved the story. I loved the movie. I just love The Host. The story there is the girl is taken over by like this alien and it lives in a brain, and then not only does like the lad that loved the girl before still love her even though like her brain is taken over, but the host manages to fall in love. So yeah, I really like that. I know a lot of people don't love that book, but I really love that book. Our next prompt is Pocahontas, a book based on a real person you have read or want to read. So I have read real people's like autobiographies and biographies and things like that, but I didn't want to mention that one. I actually wanted to put one on the list that I want to read. So I picked The Good People by Hannah Kent, and so from what I read from the blurb, and I like to go into books a little bit like blind, but Anne Roche was tried for murder of a young boy, and she was acquitted because she claimed that the young boy was a changeling, and I'd love to read that. That sounds so interesting to me. Let me know if you have read that book, because I want to know what you thought of it. I haven't even checked out if it's got good reviews or not. I just read that and I was like, yes. Our next prompt is Mulan, and that is the fiercest heroine. So I want to mention Emma Carstairs from Lady Midnight. So this is part of the series I'm currently reading, actually. I'm actually on the second book in this series. It's a chunker. I just think she, like, her parents have died. She is an orphan, which we find that in many Disney movies anyway. So it's kind of links her to this Disney world. But so she's on her own. She lives with another family, and she's a shadow hunter. So if you know anything about the shadow hunter world, they're pretty fierce anyway. And I just think she's so strong. I've loved reading about her, which is unusual. I normally don't like the heroines in books. She's not one of these whiny, needy, need some man to save her kind of girls. She's totally independent. She can do everything by herself. And yeah, I just love her, and it doesn't hurt that she's called Emma. So our next prompt is Tiana, and it's asking for a book with diversity. So I picked The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. And so basically this is about Natasha, whose family are from Jamaica, and I think she was really young when she moved to like New York. Either that or, yeah, I think she was really young when she moved to New York, so she's been to school there, and all of that, and she loves being in New York. I'm pretty sure it's New York she's in, and basically her family is being deported back to Jamaica, and she meets a boy, and it goes like they have like a day, I think. It's a great book. It's a really, really great book. It's actually a movie now as well, so if you want to check it out in movie form, but I chose that one. I really, really, really enjoyed that book. Our next princess is Rapunzel, and it's the longest book you've ever read. So for me, it is A City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, and that is 725 pages. I don't know why I still have this one on my shelf, because my sister has all of my Mortal Instrument books, but book 6, apparently I still have it. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we've all heard about the Shadowhunters. This is so heavy, and the one I'm reading at the moment is just shy of this. So I do tend to pick like, oh yeah, I'll read this really big book. So yeah, this one. Our next princess prompt is Merida, and that is a book with no love story. At first I thought, oh, have I not read any books with no love story? Because normally they've just got like a little bit, even if they haven't got a like proper love story, there's like a love interest. And then I remembered The Girl with All the Gifts, which also is now a movie. This one I read a really, really long time ago, and this is actually like a zombie book, kind of. You have to read it before. I can't tell you what it's about because that'll ruin it. If you haven't read it, it's so good. I really, really, really loved this book. The movie's pretty good too, I think. I don't remember hating the movie, but I think you get more from the book than you do from the movie. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's no love story in this, and if there is, it doesn't involve the main character, so I feel like that's allowed. But that's the one I picked. I'll just put a picture of that there for you. And also the cover is yellow, so that's so cool. The next princess prompt is Elsa, and that is a book in winter or cold. I don't think I've read many wintry books. So at first I thought, oh, well, I'll say Narnia, but I was so young when I read that, I don't know if it really counts. So I've chosen Harry Potter because those are Christmassy books. They always feel like Christmas to me, they always feel like winter, so I picked Harry Potter. There's a specific one that is set in winter, you know, when they go to like Hogsmeade, but I can't remember which one it is. I feel like it's The Prisoner of Azkaban, but I might be wrong. The next princess prompt is Moana, and this is looking for a character that went on a journey. This can be like an emotional journey of growth or a physical journey where they go somewhere. So this is a category of book that I realise now that I want to read more of. I thought maybe I'd read some, but I couldn't find any in my list. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to be adding to my Goodreads TBR and trying to pick up some like actual physical travel books. But I picked for this one because I didn't want to leave it not picked. So I picked the Samantha Shannon The Bone Season. So Paige in this one, she does go to, in this book, not so many places actually, but in the series, she travels to some places. I think she's from London. She goes across the UK. She ends up in like Scotland, I think, at some point in the series, and also London, so and France. So yeah, I picked Paige, but there are many similar to this where they kind of travel a little bit, but I didn't have like a good enough like character for this one, so definitely need to up my game for this one. So now I'm going to tag a couple of people. Don't do this if you don't want to, and if you do want to do this and I've not tagged you, please do this tag. I'll leave all the questions down below and everybody that I've tagged. Okay, so as I've stolen your title, Heather, I feel like it's only fair that I tag you. I feel like you're going to do such a great job with this tag. Definitely want to hear your answers. I'm going to tag Nina from Wrestling with Disney because I know that she loves books. We're actually in a little book group together, so I think I'd love to hear your answers. And the next person I'm going to tag actually is a booktuber, and her book tastes are completely opposite end of the scale to mine. She is well into horror and I am not, so that is Nichi from Dark Between Pages. I would love to see a horror twist on these Disney princess kind of prompts, so yeah, please take part, and if you don't want to, there's no pressure. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell as well, and then you'll be notified every single time that we post, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!